Imagine waking up one morning. You pour your coffee. You sit down at the kitchen table. You open your bank account to check your Social Security deposit. And the number is wrong. Not wrong by a few dollars. Wrong by almost $500. No warning letter. No phone call. No explanation. Just less money. Nearly $500 less every single month for the rest of your life. You would think that could never happen in America. But right now, two separate agencies of the United States government are projecting that this exact scenario could become reality for every single Social Security recipient in this country. And the clock is already ticking, as early as 2032. Now, before you panic, I need you to hear me clearly. I am Elena. I am a senior policy analyst. I have spent years helping retirees understand complicated government rules so they can protect what they have earned. And today I am going to walk you through exactly what is happening to the Social Security Trust Fund. I am going to show you the real government numbers. Not opinions, not political spin, the actual projections published by the Social Security Administration and the Congressional Budget Office. I am going to explain what trust fund depletion actually means, because most people get this wrong, and getting it wrong can lead you to make a very costly mistake. I'm also going to give you 3 specific steps you can take right now to protect yourself. But please stay with me until the end of this video, because there is a hidden mistake that millions of seniors are making right now out of fear that is actually making their financial situation worse. I will explain exactly what it is and how to avoid it. Let me start with a story. Robert is 62 years old. He lives in Ohio. He worked as a machinist for 31 years. He paid into Social Security every single paycheck of his life. Last year, Robert started seeing the same headlines you have been seeing. Social Security running out of money, trust fund going broke, benefits could be slashed. Robert got scared. And I understand why. He depends on Social Security. It is not extra money for him. It is the plan. So Robert made a decision. He said, I am going to file for Social Security right now. At 62, I am going to lock in my benefits before the money runs out. He thought he was being smart. He thought he was beating the system. But here is what Robert did not understand. By claiming at 62 instead of waiting until his full retirement age of 67, Robert permanently reduced his monthly benefit by roughly 30%. Instead of receiving approximately $2,071 a month, he locked himself into about $1,450 a month for life. And here is the painful part. Social Security is not going to zero. Even in the worst-case scenario, about 77% of benefits would still be paid. The program is not disappearing. Robert gave up 30% of his benefit permanently to avoid a projected 23% cut that may never happen and that Congress still has time to prevent. Robert's fear cost him more than the problem he was afraid of. And Robert is not alone. Millions of Americans are making this exact same mistake right now. So let me show you what is actually happening with the real numbers. From the real sources, let us start at the beginning. How does Social Security actually work? Every time you get a paycheck in America, 6.2% of your wages go to Social Security. Your employer pays another 6.2% on top of that. If you are self-employed, you pay both halves, 12.4% total. That money goes into trust funds managed by the United States Treasury. The main one that pays your retirement check is called the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund, or OSE. Now here is the key thing to understand. Social Security is not a savings account with your name on it. Today's workers are paying for today's retirees. And when you were working, your taxes were paying for the retirees before you. That is how it has always worked. For decades, more money was coming in than going out. The surplus built up in the trust fund. At the end of 2024, the trust fund still held approximately $2.72 trillion. That number comes directly from the 2025 Trustees Report published by the Social Security Administration. But starting in 2021, something shifted. For the first time, total costs began exceeding total income. In 2024, Social Security spent $1.48 trillion, but only took in $1.42 trillion. That is a shortfall of about $67 billion in a single year. The trust fund is covering that gap right now, but the trust fund is shrinking every year, and it is not going to stop shrinking on its own. Now here is where the two government projections come in. And I want to be very precise with you because the numbers matter. The Social Security trustees themselves, the official board that oversees this program, released their 2025 report on June 18th of last year. Their projection says the OASI Trust Fund will be depleted in 2033. At that point, incoming payroll taxes would only be enough to pay 77% of scheduled benefits. That is a 23% cut. But the Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan research arm of Congress, released their own analysis in February of this year, 2026. Their projection is more pessimistic. The CBO says the OSI Trust Fund will be exhausted in 2032, 1 year sooner, and they estimate the automatic cut would be 24 to 28%. For a typical retired couple, the CBO estimates that cut would mean losing approximately $18,400 per year in benefits. Now I need to stop right here, because this is where the most dangerous misunderstanding lives, and this is the part I really need you to pay attention to. Social Security is not going bankrupt. I need you to hear that clearly. It is not going to zero. Even if the trust fund is completely depleted and Congress does absolutely nothing, about 77 cents of every dollar you are owed would still be paid, because 184 million workers are still paying into the system every single day. The Social Security Administration's own official fact sheet says, and I am reading this directly, this does not mean that benefits will stop. If no action is taken by Congress, the Social Security program will have enough FICA taxes coming in to pay about 80% of scheduled benefits. You can find that fact sheet yourself at ssa.gov. It is called, Will Social Security Be There for Me? So let me be clear about what we are really talking about. We are not talking about Social Security disappearing. We are talking about a potential reduction, a serious one, a painful one, but not an elimination. Now there is a second misconception I need to address. Some people think, well, I am already receiving benefits. This cut would only apply to new retirees, people filing in the future. That is not correct. Under current law, if the trust fund is depleted without congressional action, the reduction applies to everyone, current retirees, new retirees, everyone. The SSA's own Scheduled versus Payable Benefits explainer makes this very clear. You can look it up yourself at ssa.gov. The cut starts at about 20% in the first year and gradually widens to 28% or more in later decades. Let me put this in real dollars so you can feel what this means. The average Social Security retirement benefit right now is $2,071 per month. That is based on the 2026 cost of living adjustment of 2.8%, published directly by the Social Security Administration. A 24% cut would bring that down to approximately $1,574 per month. That is $497 less every single month, $5,964 less every year. Now think about someone who claimed early at 62 and is already receiving a reduced benefit. Say they are getting $1,500 a month. That same 24% cut drops their check to about $1,140 a month. In many parts of this country, that is not enough to pay rent and buy groceries in the same month. And here is something that does not get enough attention. The SSA's own research has modeled what happens if these cuts go through. Their policy brief found that the poverty rate among senior beneficiaries would approximately double. That is not my estimate. That is the Social Security Administration's own analysis. Now let me tell you about one more thing that is making this harder for everyday people right now. Over the past year, the Social Security Administration lost approximately 7,000 employees, roughly 12% of its entire workforce. This came through federal downsizing efforts, and it happened on top of what was already a 50-year staffing low. What does that mean for you? It means longer wait times when you call. It means harder access to field offices. It means fewer trained people available to help you correct errors in your earnings record, fix a payment problem, or update your information. The SSA says they have improved phone wait times, down to about 8 minutes on average by February of this year, compared to 26 minutes the year before. But several lawmakers have questioned those numbers, pointing out that many of the workers now answering phones were reassigned from other roles and may not have full training in the areas callers need help with. This matters because your earnings record is what determines your benefit amount. If there is an error, even a small one from years ago, and you cannot get through to someone to fix it, you could be receiving less than you are owed, permanently. So now you understand the real situation. Not the panic version. Not the everything is fine version. The real one. Let me give you 3 concrete steps you should take. Not next month. Not when you hear more news. Right now. Step 1. Go to ssa.gov/myaccount and log into your free My Social Security account. If you do not have one yet, create one today. This is your personal portal where you can see your full earnings history, your projected benefit amounts at ages 62, 67, and 70, your current payment status, and your direct deposit information. Look carefully at your earnings record. Every year of your working life should be listed there with the correct income amount. If a year is missing or shows the wrong number, your benefit could be permanently lower than it should be. You have the right to correct errors, but you have to find them first. And with staffing levels where they are right now, the sooner you check, the better. Step 2. Do not make any panic decisions about when to claim your benefits. This is the Robert trap I told you about at the beginning of this video. If you are between 62 and 70 and you have not yet claimed Social Security, do not rush to file out of fear that the program is disappearing. It is not disappearing. Every year you delay claiming, up to age 70, your benefit increases by approximately 8% per year. That is a guaranteed increase. There is no investment on earth that gives you a guaranteed 8% annual return. Claiming early because of fear locks you into a permanently smaller check. And if a benefit cut does happen later, that percentage cut applies to your already reduced amount. You get hit twice. Talk to a financial advisor. Use the SSA's own benefit calculators on their website. Make this decision based on math, not fear. Now I want to be clear. There are legitimate reasons to claim early. If you have serious health concerns, if you have no other income and you need the money to survive right now, those are real situations, and I respect them completely. What I am warning against is panic claiming, filing early just because you heard a scary headline. That is the trap. Step 3. Make your voice heard. Congress has fixed Social Security before. They did it in 1983, when the program was just months away from running out of money. They have the tools to do it again. AARP has identified multiple options. Raising the payroll tax cap, which currently only applies to the first $176,100 in wages, adjusting the tax rate, using general fund revenue, modifying the benefit formula for the highest earners. None of these require a constitutional amendment. They require a vote. AARP has a free tool where you can send a direct message to your representative and your senators in about 60 seconds. Go to action.aarp.org. As of last year, more than 2 million messages had already been sent, and over 1 million petitions signed by people just like you. Your representatives work for you. They need to hear from you, especially right now, because the decisions being made in the next few years will determine whether this problem gets fixed or whether 70 million Americans wake up one morning to a smaller check. And one more thing, before I move on, if you are 65 or older, make sure your tax preparer knows about the new enhanced deduction for seniors. Starting with tax year 2025 and running through 2028, you may be eligible for an additional $6,000 deduction. $12,000 if you are married, filing jointly and both spouses qualify. It does phase out at higher income levels, but for millions of retirees, this is real money back in your pocket right now. You can find the details in IRS Publication 554 at irs.gov. Now, I want to talk to you directly for a moment, just you and me. I know this is scary. I know that when you see headlines about Social Security running out of money, it feels personal. Because it is personal. This is your money. You earned it. You paid into it every single year of your working life, and you deserve to know the truth about what is happening to it. Not the exaggerated version designed to get clicks. Not the political version designed to get votes. The truth. The truth is that Social Security faces a real funding challenge. The trust fund is shrinking every year. If nothing changes, benefits will be cut. That is a fact confirmed by 2 separate government agencies. But the truth is also that Social Security is not going to zero. 184 million Americans are paying into this system right now. Congress has the tools to fix it. And you have the right and the power to demand that they do. Now here's what I need you to do right now. Do not rely only on YouTube to stay updated on rules that affect your benefits. YouTube can change its algorithm tomorrow, and you might never see another one of my videos in your feed. That is not something either of us can control. So click the link in the description below to join the Global Senior Alerts official WhatsApp channel. It is completely free. When you join, you will be able to download our free Senior Benefits Protection Guide. It covers Social Security rules, Medicare changes, pension tax traps, banking regulations, and travel rules for seniors, all in plain, simple language that you can read at your own pace. You will also receive real-time alerts whenever there is a new rule, a deadline, or a change that affects your money. No spam, no politics, just the facts you need to protect yourself and your family. I also want to ask you a quick question. Drop your answer in the comments right now. Has Social Security been your primary source of retirement income? And are you worried about these projections? I read every single comment, and your answers help me understand what topics to cover next so I can keep helping you. If this video cleared up even one thing you were confused about, or if it stopped you from making a mistake that could have cost you thousands of dollars, please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you are notified when I post the next update. I have a video coming soon on the 3 biggest Medicare mistakes seniors are making in 2026, and trust me, you do not want to miss that one. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your time. And remember, knowledge is your best protection. The more you understand, the less power fear has over your decisions. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.